Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here we will start with the chapter 15. Example of a spontaneous devotional service can be easily seen in Krishna's direct associates in Vrindavan. The spontaneous dealing of the residents of Vrindavan in relationship with Krishna are called Ragatmika. These beings don't have to learn anything about devotional service. They are already perfect in all regulative principles and have achieved a spontaneous loving service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, the cowherd boys who are playing with Krishna do not have to learn by the austerities or penances or yogic practice how to play with him. They have passed all tests of regulative principles in their previous lives. And as a result, they are now elevated to the position of direct association with Krishna as his dear friend. Their spontaneous attitude is called Ragatmika Bhakti.
Prabhuji, Raganuga and Ragatmika both are same?
Same.
Okay.
विराजन्तीम् अभिव्यक्तिं ब्रजवासी जनादिषु रागात्मिका अनुसृता या रागानुगो उच्यते. रागानुगा विवेकार्थम आदौ रागात्मिको उच्यते. इष्टे स्वारसिकी रागः परमविष्टता भवेत्. तन्मयी या भवेत् भक्तिः सा अत्र रागात्मिका उदिता. सा कामरूपा संबंधरूपा च इति भवेत् द्विधा. So there are two kinds. One is Kamarupa and second is Sambandha-rupa. So Prabhupada is going to explain about that. Srila Rupa Goswami has defined Ragatmika Bhakti as a spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in the thoughts of it, with an intense desire of a love. Devotional service executed with such a feelings of spontaneous love is called Ragatmika Bhakti. Devotional service under the heading of Ragatmika can be further divided into two categories. One category is called sensual attraction, which is Kamarupa, and other is called relationship, that is Sambandha-rupa. So in this connection, there is a statement by Narad Muni in Yudhishthir, to Yudhishthir Maharaj in the 7th canto of 1st chapter, 30th verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kamad dveshad bhayat snehat yata bhaktir ishvare manaha avesha tadagham hitva bahavas tadgatim gataha gopya kamad bhayat kamso dveshad uchche yadayo nrapaha chaida adya dayo nrapaha sambandha krishnaya sneha Hyuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. My dear king, there are many devotees who first became attracted to personality of a godhead for a purpose of sense gratification. Kamad Gopya. With the sensual attraction, gopis, they got attracted to Krishna. Then, Dvesha Kamsa, from being envious of him, out of a fear of him, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, their attraction became freed from all material contamination, and gradually the worshipper develops spiritual love and achieves the ultimate goal of a life desired by the pure devotee. Gopis may be considered the example of a spontaneous love in sensual attraction. Similarly, King Kamsa was attracted to Krishna because of fear. Kamsa was always fearful of Krishna because it had been foretold that his sister's son, Krishna, would kill him. Shishupala was also very envious of Krishna. Oh, Bhayat Kamsa Dveshad Chedi Adipati, that is Shishupala. And the descendants of King Yadu, due to their family relationship with him, were always thinking of him as one of their members. All of these different kinds of devotees have a spontaneous attraction for Krishna in different categories, and they achieve the same desired goal of life. The attraction of the gopis for Krishna and the affection of the members of Yadu dynasties are both accepted as a spontaneous or ragatmika. The attraction of Kamsa to Krishna in fear and the attraction of Shishupal in envy are not accepted as a devotional service. However, because their attitude are not favorable. So one is Anukulya, the second is Viparya. So Anukulya is Sneha, Sakhya, like a Sneha, the love of gopis, and Sneha, the family attachment of Yadus to Krishna. So that is considered as a Anukula. And Viparya, and opposite to that is Pratikul one is this one, out of fear and out of envy. Devotional service.
So then, why is it? Why is envy and fear classified as Kamarupa? Why, if it's not Bhakti, then why classify it under Kamarupa?
No. Come back again.
So attraction under fear and attraction under envy. So those all come under Rupanuga Bhakti, right?
Read where it is explained.
I mean, there Narada says, "My dear king, there are many devotees who first become attracted to personality of Godhead for the purposes of sense gratification, from being envious of him, out of fear of him, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, these attractions become freed from all material contamination, and gradually worshipper develops spiritual love and achieves that ultimate goal of life desired by the pure devotee."
Yeah. But again, specifically, it is said here that in Kamarupa, the sensual attraction that is different from Bhaya and Dvesha. Kama and Sneha or Sakhyatva, all these two can generate that pure love, but not envy and fear. It has explained further, we will read it. Devotional service should be executed only in a favorable frame of mind. So favorable frame of mind means Sneha, Sakhya, those are the things. Okay. Therefore, according to Rupa Goswami, such attractions are not considered to be in devotional service. Which one? Envy and fear. Again, he analyzes the affection of Yadus. If it is on the platform of a friendship, then it is spontaneous love. But if it is on the platform of a regulative principle, then it is not. Bhaktya vayamiti vyaktam vaidhi bhaktir udiritaha. Yadarinam priyanam cha prapyam ekam vo uditam. If it is on the platform of a friendship, then it is spontaneous love. Yadus, what the love they have, family affection for the Lord. If it is spontaneous, then it is considered as if it is on the platform of a friendship, then it is sakyatva, then it is called as a spontaneous love. But if it is on the platform of regulative principle, then it is not. And only when affection comes to the platform of spontaneous love, it is counted in the category of a pure devotional service. There may be some difficulty in understanding that both the gopis and Kamsa achieve the same goal. So this point should be clearly understood because the attitude of Kamsa and Shishupal were different from that of gopis. Although in all these cases the focus is on the Supreme Personality of a Godhead and all of the devotees are elevated to the spiritual world, there is still a distinction between these two classes of souls. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the absolute truth is one and that he is manifested as an impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He is a spiritual, here is the spiritual extension. Although Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan are the same and one absolute truth, devotees like Kamsa or Shishupal could attain only to the Brahman effulgence. They could not have realized of Paramatma or Bhagavan feature of the Lord. That is the distinction. Now you understood what Narada Muni says?
Yes. Yes, sir.
An analogy can be given with the sun globe and the sunshine. To remain in the sunshine does not mean one has gone to the sun globe. The temperature of the sun globe is different from the temperature of the sunshine. One who has gone through the sunshine in jet planes or in spaceship has not necessarily gone to the sun globe. Although the sunshine and the sun globe are actually one and the same, still there is a distinction. For one is energy and one is the energetic source. The absolute truth and his bodily effulgence are in the same way simultaneously one and the different. Kamsa and Shishupal attained to the absolute truth, but they were not allowed to enter into the Golok Vrindavan abode. Impersonalists and the enemies of the Lord are, because of attraction to God, allowed to enter into his kingdom, but they are not allowed to enter into the Vaikuntha planets or the Golok Vrindavan planet of the Supreme Lord. To enter the kingdom and to enter the king's palace are not the same things.
No.
Very clearly explained here. You may be in America, but not in White House. Even though White House is in America, but it has its own different existence. And you may enter into the America, but not White House. You need some qualification to go there. So same way, here, yeah, they have that emotions because they had that emotion for the Lord and they remembered him constantly. And Lord says that whoever remembers me at the time of death, he comes to me. So where they can go? So they go to the Brahman feature of the Lord. Because all those souls who are envious of the Lord, but they always think about Lord, they go there. Like Mayavadis. Soham, I am that, I am that, I am that, I am that. Where they go? They go to that Brahmajyoti. And when they get purified, because there also, they can't stay for long because there is no positive engagement. Patanti adha anadruta yushmata padangre. They fall down. So Srila Rupa Goswami is trying here to describe the different achievements of the impersonalist and personalist. Generally, those who are impersonalists are inimical to the Supreme Personality of a Godhead. Get entrance only into the impersonal Brahman. If they reach spiritual perfection, the impersonalist philosophers are in one sense like the enemies of the Lord because The out and out enemies of the Lord and the impersonalists are both allowed to enter into the impersonal effulgence of the Brahmajyoti. So it is to be understood that they are similar classifications. And actually, the impersonalists are enemies of God because they cannot tolerate the unparalleled opulences of the Lord. They try always to place themselves on the same level with the Lord. That is due to their envious attitude. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has proclaimed that impersonalists to be offenders of the Lord. The Lord is so kind, however, that even though they are his enemies, they are still allowed to enter into the spiritual kingdom and remain in the impersonal Brahmajyoti, the undifferentiated light of the Absolute. See how Lord merciful to everyone. Even though they are so envious, they are so inimical towards him, but still he gives them that place. Okay, come to me, don't worry. I will purify you. Because he is the one who has Shuddham Vishuddha Sattvam, Vasudevam Shabditaha. He is the one who can purify everyone, even to his enemies. Sometimes an impersonalist may gradually elevate himself to the personal conception of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita confirms this. After many, many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. Which is that shloka? Hello?
Manushanam Sahasresu Prabhuji.
Which one?
Manushanam Sahasresu.
Yes, Manushanam Sahasreshu
Sahasresu
Kaschit
Kaschit Yatatam Api Siddhanam
Kashin Mam Vyatti Tattvata.
Titsattvata.
Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. Vasudeva Sahiti Samatma Sudurlava. That's the verse. But even that one also can be accepted because there is a siddhi. So perfection can be achieved. Right? But the perfect verse is Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. By such a surrender, an impersonalist can be elevated to the Vaikuntha Loka, where, as a surrender soul, he attains bodily features like the Lord. In the Brahmanda Puran, it is stated, Siddha Lokasta Tamasa Pare Yatra Vasantihi Siddha Brahma Sukhe Magna Daityasha Harina Hataha. Oh, that's nice verse. Those who have achieved the liberation from material contamination and those who are demons and are killed by the Supreme Personality of a Godhead become absorbed in the Brahman concept of a life and reside in the spiritual sky of the Brahma Jyoti. Siddhalokastu tamasa pare yatra vasantihi siddha brahma sukhe magna daityasha harina hataha. So both are on the same level. Who want to enjoy the Brahma Sukha and who are killed by the Lord, they also get Brahma Sukha. Both our demons are having the same perfection. The spiritual sky is far beyond the material sky, and it is confirmed also in the Bhagavad Gita that beyond this material sky there is another eternal sky. The enemies and the impersonalists may be allowed to enter into this Brahman effulgence, but the devotees of the Lord, Krishna, are promoted all the way to the spiritual planets. Because the pure devotees have developed their spontaneous love for Supreme Personality of a Godhead. They are allowed to enter into the spiritual planet to enjoy spiritual bliss in association with Personality of a Godhead. In the 10th canto, 87th chapter, verse 23, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas personified, address the Lord in this way. Nibhrattamam Brahmanokshadhrudayogayujoradiyam Munaye upasate tadayorapi yusmarana Stri auragendra auragabhujadanda visha tadiya Vayam apite samasatrushrangri sarajasudha. My dear Lord, yogis meditate upon your localized feature, and thus they achieve the spiritual perfection of being merged in the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Person who treat you as an enemy achieve the same perfection without meditating the gopis, who are embraced by your serpentine arms and who have such a lusty attitude also achieve the same perfection. Oh, my dear Lord, yogis meditate upon your localized feature and thus they achieve the spiritual perfection of being merged in the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Person who treat you as enemy achieve the same perfection without meditating. The gopis who are embraced by your serpentine arms and who are such a lusty attitude also achieve the same perfection. And as far as we are concerned, being different demigods in charge of the different parts of Vedic knowledge, we are always following in the footsteps of the gopis. Thus, we hope to attain the same perfection. By same perfection, we must always remember the example of the sun and sunshine. Those who are impersonalists can merge into the sunshine like a Brahmajyoti, whereas those who are in love with the Supreme Personality of a Godhead enter into the supreme abode of the Lord, Goloka Vrindavan. See, just to clarify our confusion, this explanation has given. After reading the shloka, we might think that, oh, gopis attended the same, the yogis attended the same, and demons attended the same. Then why only gopis are topmost? Why not others? But that has explained here nicely. The lusty attitude of the gopis does not refer to any sort of a sex indulgence. Srila Rupa Goswami explained that lusty desire refers to the devotee's particular attitude of association with Krishna. Every devotee in his perfectional stage has a spontaneous attraction to the Lord. This attraction is sometimes called the lusty desire of the devotee. The lust is the devotee's excessive desire to serve the Lord in particular capacity. Such a desire may seem to be a desire for enjoying the Lord, but actually the endeavor is to serve the Lord in that capacity. For example, a devotee may be desiring to associate with the personality of a Godhead as his cowherd friend. He will want to serve the Lord by assisting him in controlling the cows in the pasturing ground. This may appear to be a desire to enjoy the company of the Lord, but actually it is spontaneous love serving him by assisting in managing the transcendental cows. Now, the next part, spontaneous devotional service in sensual attraction, Kamarupa. Sa Kamarupa Sambhoga Trishna Ya Nayati Swatam Yadasyam Krishna Saukyartham Eva Kevalam Udyamaha. Yiyam tu Vrajadevishu Suprasiddha Virajate Asam Prema Visheshoyam Prapta Kamapi Madhurim Tat Kridani Kama iti uchyate budaihi. This extreme desire to serve the Lord is manifest in the transcendental land of Vraja. And it is specifically manifested among the gopis. The gopis' love for Krishna is so elevated that for our understanding, it is sometimes explained as being lusty desire. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Krishnadas, has explained the distinction between lusty desire and the service attitude in the statement. Lusty desire refers to the desire to glorify one's personal senses, and transcendental desire refers to the desire for serving the senses of the Lord. Here, आत्मेन्द्रिय पृथिवांचा तारबलिकाम कृष्णेन्द्रिय पृथिवांचा प्रेम धरेन. In the material world, there is no such a thing as a lover's wanting to please the senses of his beloved. Actually, in the material world, everyone wants mainly to gratify his own personal senses. The gopis, however, wanted nothing at all but to glorify the senses of the Lord. And there is no instance of this in the material world. Therefore, the gopis' ecstatic love for Krishna is sometimes described by scholars as being like the lusty desire of the material world. But actually, this should not be taken as a literal fact. It is simply a way to trying to understand the transcendental situation. Great devotees up to the standard of Uddhava are very dear friends of Lord, and they desire to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. So the gopis' love for Krishna is certainly not material lusty desire. Otherwise, how could Uddhava aspire to follow in their footsteps? Another instance in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya himself, after accepting sannyas order of a life, he was very strict about avoiding association with women. But still, he thought that there is no better method of worshipping Krishna than that conceived by the gopis. Thus, the gopis' method of worshipping the Lord as if impelled by the lusty desire was praised very highly even by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This very fact means that although the attraction of the gopis for Krishna appears to be lusty, it is not in the least bit material. Unless one is fully situated in the transcendental position, the relationship of gopis with Krishna is very difficult to understand. But because it appears to be just like ordinary dealings of young boys and girls, it is sometimes misinterpreted to be like the ordinary sex of this material world. Unfortunately, persons who cannot understand the transcendental nature of the living affairs of the gopis and Krishna take it for granted that Krishna's loving affairs with the gopis are mundane transaction, and therefore they sometimes indulge in the painting licentious pictures in some modernistic style. Can you imagine? Prabhupada has wrote this 50 years back. And recently, some funny guy from Bangladesh, some ulti capwala, he drawed this kind of a picture, what Prabhupada has just mentioned. He was knowing what's going to happen in future, how people will take all this description on their platform and try to defame their lordship. So any question about this? No? Okay.
No.
So the chapter 16, spontaneous devotion further described. That is now what we have seen, that is of Kamarupa. Oh, we'll stop it here. We'll continue tomorrow because that will be a new topic and I don't want to just stop abruptly in between. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, chalo.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Bhakti
Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada ki